Are you ready for the big news? Elon Musk just revealed that SpaceX is ending its partnership with NASA. Isn't this shocking? But do you know the reason for such a big decision? We are going to spill the beans on everything that is going on, so stay tuned to the video and watch it till the end. Elon Musk has talked about Mars colonization and publicly announced that he is going to build a moon base first and then greenhouses on Mars in the second stage. According to sources, SpaceX is planning to end its partnership with NASA. We must not forget that NASA accounts for 43 to 48% share of revenue generated by the company. There are majorly two reasons for this huge decision. But before that, let's analyze the current position of SpaceX. NASA announced on April 17th that it is partnering with a company to develop a spacecraft that would take astronauts back and forth from the moon. There were three competitors for the pitch. The first is Dynetics, a regular supplier to the Department of Defense. Second is Blue Origin, which is Jeff Bezos' aerospace company. Blue Origin has previously partnered with aerospace giants such as Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and Draper. The third competitor was Elon Musk's SpaceX. NASA usually chooses more than one company for such a huge project to save itself from any mishaps or delays in technology by the companies. Surprisingly enough, it awarded the entire contract to Musk's SpaceX in May 2020. Previously, NASA had also chosen SpaceX over the famous company Boeing to carry a mission with 3 astronauts to the International Space Station. In November, NASA used another rocket from SpaceX to send 4 astronauts to space. These projects and their success make SpaceX a trusted name in the aerospace industry and an aligned partner of the government space agency. Elon Musk's SpaceX uses economies of scale to leverage its position. NASA awarded a huge $2.89 billion contract to SpaceX to develop, test, and send team missions to the moon. The flight is scheduled for 2024. The value of the contract would increase with time if NASA continues to work with SpaceX and trusts its partner for sending regular missions to the moon. The mission is to establish a moon base, which will be a permanent facility. SpaceX's other competitor, Blue Origin's project, was the most conventional with a 3-stage landing design, which is very much aligned with NASA's usual approach. But unfortunately, no component of the project was recovered in the actual execution. The other company, Dynetics, delivered a more innovative and reusable pitch, but proposed a restricted approach in sending just a few astronauts to the moon in the beginning. Winning NASA's contract is essential to SpaceX's larger mission to colonize Mars and also an important milestone for NASA. Until now, NASA could only aspire to launch 1 rocket a year, which cost around $2 billion. The last rocket unfortunately crashed and was lost in the ocean. With the help of this collaboration, NASA can now visualize carrying up to 100 tons of cargo and building 1 rocket each month. It can be reused dozens of times, and with every launch gaining new insights about space. Then there are economies of scale to this partnership. If $2 billion allows NASA to launch 100 tons of material into space after every 2 weeks, the horizons of the space program are completely changed. Even after all of these benefits, there are 2 major reasons that SpaceX is ending its partnership with NASA. The first is enormous lawsuits from Blue Origin. Yes, you heard it right. You must have known that Elon Musk has criticized fellow billionaire Jeff Bezos on multiple occasions for filing lawsuits on SpaceX. Bezos' firm Blue Origin also sued NASA after it lost a critical government contract to take astronauts to the moon. This delayed SpaceX's work on the project as well. Now, Bezos has urged the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, to dismiss SpaceX's proposal to launch another cluster of satellites to power its satellite internet service, Starlink. Interestingly enough, Musk tweeted that turns out Bezos retired to pursue a full-time job filing lawsuits against SpaceX. However, the recent complaint from Bezos was not a formal lawsuit but rather a letter of protest to NASA. Technically, Bezos wants SpaceX to launch more satellites, but it thinks that the company should be clearer in its plans. For now, Starlink is powered by 1,740 low Earth orbit satellites, which serve an estimated 90,000 customers on Earth. SpaceX now wants to launch 30,000 second-generation satellites to improve their service. They have to inform the FCC of their exact locations around the Earth. Bezos complained that SpaceX is asking the FCC to improve two entirely different orbital configurations, one of which will be finalized and chosen later. This approach of applying for two mutually exclusive configurations has caused quite a lot of stir. This request is not following the Commission's rules and public policy. In an interview, the corporate counsel for Amazon subsidiary Kuiper Systems, Mariah Dodson-Schumann, said that having to grapple with two possible configurations doubles the technical effort faced by other operators, including Amazon's Kuiper system. It has yet to launch any satellites of its own, and these parties will have to review interference and orbital debris concerns raised by two separate satellite configurations. Schumann preferred that SpaceX should choose a clear plan and stick with it. She also mentioned that approving two configuration sets for any company's request sets a bad precedent, which will allow future satellite operators to hedge their own bets, which will create more work for the entire aerospace industry. She concluded that the Commission should enforce its rules and asked SpaceX to resubmit its amendment after settling on a single configuration for its Gen 2 system. The second major reason for ending the partnership is that SpaceX hopes to launch its Starship first orbital test flight in January, which will shift its focus from NASA's projects. In an interview, Elon Musk mentions that his company will attempt to launch its futuristic bullet-shaped Starship to orbit in January. He is not getting everyone's hopes high for the first test flight, as there are a lot of risks associated with this first launch. He says that, "I would not say that it is likely to be successful, but will make a lot of progress." In a virtual meeting organized by the National Academy of Sciences, Musk said that he is confident in launching the Starship, which will successfully reach orbit in 2022. After the initial test flights next year, SpaceX would start launching valuable satellites to orbit on Starships in 2023. Musk also said that NASA has contracted with SpaceX to use a Starship for delivering astronauts to the moon by 2025. He is planning to use the reusable ships to eventually land people on Mars as well. The well-built Starship and its first-stage booster, called the superheavy, are considered to be the biggest rocket ever to fly a towering 394 feet lift-off thrust. The Super Heavy is double in size of NASA's Saturn V rocket that carried astronauts to the moon half a century ago. The Super Heavy is yet to fly, but a full-scale Starship model flew to an altitude of 6 miles in May and successfully landed back at the SpaceX complex near Texas's southernmost tip. According to Musk, the first orbital test flight for a Starship and Super Heavy have been completed. SpaceX plans to finish the launch pad by the end of November and tower with testing in December. The Federal Aviation Administration would review the plan by February 2022. It is noteworthy about 90% of Starship's development costs have been covered by SpaceX, while NASA is covering the rest with its lunar lander contract. Musk has not yet revealed the entire spending so far, but it is apparent that he wants to build multiple Starships in the near future. Musk mentions that he will need thousands of them to make a complete life on Mars, which is his supreme goal. He said that unforeseen natural disasters, pandemics more dangerous than COVID-19, decreasing birth rates, and nuclear Armageddons, or perhaps a direct hit by a killer comet will most likely end the civilization. So people should have a backup option to move to Mars as soon as possible. So that's a wrap for today. Thank you for watching. If you would like to receive updates about more tech-related news, do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more updates. Do let us know your thoughts about this recent development of Elon Musk and NASA. What do you think is going to happen next? Don't forget to share in the comments section. Thank you for staying with us.